Go find them. Go find my guns. Multiple guns. I got a steep AR. These chilling words were reportedly spoken in the moments leading up to one of the most shocking celebrity scandals in recent memory. What initially seemed like a personal medical emergency quickly escalated into a story that reads like a Hollywood thriller. Fans across Atlanta, the hip-hop community, and even mainstream media were left in disbelief as the events surrounding King Harris's alleged ICU hospitalization and arrest unfolded. What was supposed to be a private moment of vulnerability became public spectacle, legal drama, and viral internet content all at once. King Harris, the son of rap mogul T.I., had reportedly been hospitalized for what fans believed to be a serious medical emergency. The narrative was simple: a young man fighting for his life after brain surgery, surrounded by family, doctors, and well-wishers. But nothing about this story was ordinary. The involvement of federal authorities in a hospital room is rare, and when it happens, it signals that something far more complex and possibly criminal is at play. According to multiple insiders, the FBI stormed the ICU, cuffs and warrants in hand, dramatically altering the scene and turning what many thought was a family crisis into a full-blown federal investigation. The images that would later circulate online only added to the confusion and speculation. Patients on gurneys, machines beeping, nurses rushing down hallways, all juxtaposed against agents in suits carrying what appeared to be arrest documents. For most people, an ICU is a place of care, healing, and hope. But in this case, the room transformed into a high-stakes legal battleground. The very people tasked with saving King Harris's life suddenly had to navigate law enforcement protocols, legal obligations, and their own shock. The Atlantic community and the wider world watched in disbelief as news of King Harris's arrest spread. Social media exploded with speculation. Some fans defended the family, claiming this was an outrageous overreach by the federal government, while others argued that this was a long time coming, suggesting that the young man's public behavior and past decisions had finally caught up with him. Rumors began to swirl, from allegations of fraud and financial misconduct to claims that the brain surgery itself may have been exaggerated or misrepresented to the public. Sources close to the Harris family claim that the FBI had been monitoring the family for weeks, if not months. The medical emergency, as portrayed on social media, may have been a cover-up, whether intentional or coincidental, for something more serious. Insider reports suggest that the timing of the ICU arrest was calculated, coinciding with the period when public attention was fully focused on the young man's health. For investigators, the hospital setting presented a rare opportunity to ensure compliance while minimizing immediate resistance. For the nurses and doctors on duty, the arrival of the FBI was surreal. One minute they were monitoring vitals, ensuring that a patient remained stable after what was said to be brain surgery. The next, agents were reading rights, photographing records, and preparing to take someone into federal custody. Hospital staff reportedly attempted to advocate for the patient, arguing that his medical condition made arrest or transport unsafe. However, the agents were resolute. Medical concerns did not negate their legal authority. This clash of health and law created a tense environment that few outside the hospital could have imagined. Eyewitnesses recount the chaos vividly. Nurses shouted instructions, doctors argued over medical protocol, and family members pleaded for time to understand what was happening. Tiny, T.I.'s wife, was reportedly distraught, confronting the agents and insisting that her son was too ill to be moved. Statements like, he's sick," echoed down the hospital corridors, highlighting the emotional toll of the incident. Meanwhile, the FBI focused on evidence collection, arrest procedures, and ensuring that any legal missteps were minimized. For the public watching online, the images of the standoff between family and federal agents became the centerpiece for a rapidly evolving conspiracy theory. The drama extended far beyond the hospital walls. Social media users began dissecting every detail: timestamps of posts, hospital visit logs, and even previous interviews that might shed light on the family's activities. Leaks suggest inconsistencies in medical records, raising questions about whether the surgery itself was necessary or if it had been manipulated to gain sympathy or delay legal proceedings. Some sources allege that discrepancies in dates, doctor signatures, and procedural notes hint at possible fraud or cover-up. Whether true or not, these claims added fuel to a firestorm of speculation and outrage. The public reaction was intense. Hashtags like Free King Harris and hashtag King Exposed dominated platforms like Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Memes, reaction videos, and deep dive threads created a continuous stream of content analyzing the arrest from every angle. Fans debated the legitimacy of the arrest, the authenticity of the medical crisis, and the motivations of both the family and federal authorities. Influencers and journalists began breaking down timelines, presenting theories ranging from hospital staff collusion to alleged family deception. Every new post or leaked detail became instant content fodder, escalating the story's reach and intensity. Some insiders allege that the brain surgery itself might have been a ruse. Whether it was intended to cover up financial misconduct, insurance fraud, or other illegal activity remains unclear. Reports indicate that federal investigators had been monitoring financial transactions, communications, and other records for potential evidence of wrongdoing. If these claims hold merit, the hospital episode was not merely a medical emergency, but potentially part of a larger, premeditated legal scenario. This possibility has captivated audiences worldwide, who are now questioning what is real and what is performative in celebrity crises. T.I.'s presence in the hospital further complicated the narrative. Known for his public persona and meticulous control over his family's image, the rapper suddenly found himself in a position of extreme vulnerability. Witnesses say T.I. attempted to negotiate with law enforcement, pleading for time to allow his son to recover or to seek medical advice before any legal action was taken. The tension in those hospital hallways reportedly escalated to near confrontation levels, with agents standing firm against the demands of a father desperate to protect his child. For fans, this was both shocking and heartbreaking. The superstar and his family caught in a situation that blended personal tragedy with criminal investigation. The stakes were clear. The FBI was not present merely for public spectacle. Arresting a suspect in a hospital, particularly in an ICU, signals that authorities believe there is a significant risk, either of flight, destruction of evidence, or interference with an investigation. The presence of federal agents in such a sensitive medical environment underscores the gravity of the alleged offenses. Whether or not King Harris was capable of standing trial, the legal system moved swiftly to ensure that investigations continued without obstruction. The conflict between medical ethics and law enforcement authority has since become a point of national debate. Internet users are divided. Some portray the events as government overreach, painting King Harris as a victim of an invasive legal system. Others suggest that this story is the inevitable consequence of years of public and private behavior catching up with the young man. Commentary spans every spectrum, from in-depth investigative threads to viral memes mocking the situation. What is undeniable, however, is the intensity of public fascination. The combination of celebrity, medical drama, and federal intervention has created a perfect storm for both media attention and ongoing conspiracy theories. Reports indicate that several discrepancies in King Harris's medical files have come to light. Conflicting dates, inconsistent doctor signatures, and unusual procedural notes suggest that the official narrative may not tell the full story. If verified, these inconsistencies could constitute serious legal infractions, including document tampering, fraud, or obstruction of justice. This has led some legal analysts to speculate that the hospital episode was more than a medical emergency. It was potentially an attempt to manipulate public perception, delay legal consequences, or obscure financial irregularities. Moreover, some insiders suggest that King Harris may be connected to broader allegations involving financial misconduct, insurance fraud, or other illegal dealings. The timing and circumstances of the ICU arrest have led experts to theorize that the medical emergency may have served as a smokescreen, allowing investigators to collect evidence while minimizing interference. If true, this story goes far beyond the hospital, implicating multiple parties and raising questions about the intersection of celebrity culture, family dynamics, and the federal legal system. The arrest itself, described by witnesses as surreal and chaotic, has already become legendary. FBI agents reportedly arrived in unmarked vehicles, swiftly entered the hospital, and read King Harris his rights while he remained connected to medical equipment. Nurses cried, arguing that the patient's medical condition warranted delay, but agents persisted, emphasizing the seriousness of the charges at hand. The juxtaposition of a critically ill patient and a high-stakes legal procedure captured the public imagination, sparking debates about ethics, legality, and the extent of federal authority. Leaked footage, though blurry, shows King Harris reacting with a mixture of fear, confusion, and defiance. Eyewitnesses say he mouthed the words, "Call my dad," a moment that quickly went viral across social media platforms. Fans were split. Some viewed this as a heartbreaking example of government overreach, while others interpreted it as confirmation of prior allegations. The viral spread of these clips has ensured that the story remains in the public eye, and ongoing leaks and insider commentary continue to fuel speculation. However, the scene that shook the internet to its core was nothing short of surreal. King Harris, son of rap legend T.I. and reality star Tiny, was lying in a hospital ICU bed hooked up to tubes, monitors, and machines signaling life and death. Fans everywhere believed they were witnessing a tragic, almost cinematic story. A young celebrity fighting for his life after what was reported as emergency brain surgery. Social media exploded. Hashtags flooded platforms. Prayers, emojis, and heartfelt messages poured in. "Stay strong, King" became the rallying cry of a generation of fans who had followed his every Instagram post and viral clip. But then, seemingly out of nowhere, the FBI stormed the ICU like the climax of a high-stakes crime thriller. Imagine the scene: doctors frozen in shock, nurses gasping, and federal agents reading rights to a patient supposedly clinging to life. The world collectively held their breath. Forget Grey's Anatomy, this was FBI's anatomy, and nobody could believe their eyes. The immediate question on everyone's mind was obvious. Why King Harris? Why barge into a hospital room instead of waiting for a proper discharge? According to insiders, the answer was as chilling as it was simple. Investigators reportedly believed the surgery was nothing but a cover-up, a high-stakes deception engineered to shield King from legal or financial scrutiny. Whispers circulated instantly across forums and blogs. Was King really ill, or was the Harris empire staging a fake medical crisis to distract the world and authorities from something far more serious? Consider the optics. ICU usually evokes life support, trauma, and tragedy, but the FBI believed they were walking into a crime scene cleverly disguised as a hospital room. And once that theory spread online, it felt as if the entire hip-hop community was teetering on the edge of disbelief. This wasn't the first time King Harris had captured the public's attention for controversy. He had gone viral countless times for wild Instagram rants, reckless behavior in clubs, and public altercations, earning a reputation as chaotic, spoiled, and unpredictable. Fans had grown accustomed to seeing him flaunt wealth, start feuds, and rebel against the golden child image his parents meticulously cultivated. So when the news of emergency brain surgery broke, skeptics immediately raised eyebrows. One day he's posting selfies, videos, and clips that make him look perfectly healthy and alive. The next, he's supposedly fighting for his life in an ICU bed. The timeline didn't add up, and apparently it didn't to federal investigators. Leaked reports suggested that the FBI had been monitoring the Harris family for weeks prior to the hospital incident. Sources claimed that the so-called surgery might have been intended as a distraction, while investigators scrutinized financial records, suspicious transactions, and even hospital paperwork. Rumors began circulating that some medical files didn't match reality, that certain signatures were forged, and that the entire health crisis might have been staged. Imagine this: while fans prayed for King's recovery, federal agents were potentially witnessing one of the largest celebrity fraud schemes of the year in real time. In the middle of it all were T.I. and Tiny, caught between protecting their son, safeguarding their brand, and contending with a federal investigation spiraling completely out of control. Eyewitness accounts painted a scene of raw emotion and tension. T.I. was reportedly pacing hospital hallways in fury, torn between his instincts as a protective father and his responsibility as a public figure, watching his family's reputation unravel in real time. Tiny, meanwhile, was seen in tears, pleading with agents, insisting that her son was fragile and genuinely ill. But the FBI, focused solely on what they considered evidence of deception, remained unmoved. This was no longer a matter of health. It was a matter of potential criminal conspiracy. And the moment words like fraud and conspiracy came from federal mouths, everyone realized that this situation had escalated far beyond celebrity gossip or Instagram drama. For hospital staff, the incident was reportedly surreal. Nurses and doctors who initially arrived to tend to a critically ill patient suddenly found themselves in the middle of a federal investigation. Hospital insiders described an immediate shift in atmosphere as agents entered the ICU. One surgeon allegedly shouted that King was not stable enough to be moved, yet the agents allegedly ignored medical warnings, their focus unwaveringly on executing their warrants. In the agents' eyes, this was no longer an emergency ward. It was a crime scene hiding in plain sight. The tension in the room was palpable, the chaos escalating with every minute that passed. Leaked documents only fueled the growing frenzy. Some recovery notes allegedly predated the surgery itself, and certain medical forms carried signatures of doctors who were not on duty at the time. Coincidence? Clerical error? Deliberate tampering? If even a fraction of these claims were true, this was not merely sloppy paperwork. It was medical fraud on a scale few had seen before. Tampering with medical records isn't a misdemeanor. It's federal-level criminal activity. Naturally, social media erupted into chaos. Memes, theories, and heated debates spread like wildfire. Some fans defended King, insisting this was a government setup. Others mocked the ICU drama, reminding everyone that King's social media antics had always been chaotic enough to generate controversy without a medical crisis. Insiders alleged that King's alleged health crisis may have been a carefully orchestrated smokescreen designed to dodge lawsuits, deflect rivals, or manipulate insurance payouts. If true, it wasn't merely reckless celebrity behavior. It was a full-blown conspiracy, potentially involving doctors, hospital staff, and even family representatives. The optics were devastating. T.I., the self-proclaimed trap general, watched helplessly as his son was cuffed in a hospital gown, torn between anger at the system and horror at the damage to his family's brand playing out in real time. Tiny, meanwhile, endured sheer devastation, reportedly collapsing in tears while pleading with the agents to understand that her son was genuinely ill. Almost overnight, the narrative flipped. King Harris went from being a sympathetic figure, a young star battling for his life, to the centerpiece of a federal investigation. Fans, journalists, and the broader entertainment industry alike were left reeling. If the Harris family could allegedly orchestrate such an elaborate scenario, the implications for celebrity culture were staggering. Suddenly, nothing seemed real. Not social media images, not public statements, not even the hospital bed that had supposedly been King's lifeline. The aftermath was explosive. Within hours, every major media outlet had picked up the story. Headlines like "King Harris arrested, ICU fake brain surgery uncovered" dominated feeds. Public opinion was polarized. Some believed the FBI was conducting a politically motivated setup aimed at humiliating hip-hop royalty. Others claimed the Harris family had masterminded the stunt, creating the most audacious publicity ploy in modern rap history. Comment sections turned into digital battlegrounds, with hashtags like Free King Harris trending alongside hashtag King Exposed. The legal stakes were immense. Federal agents do not storm hospitals on whims. According to insiders, charges could include fraud, conspiracy, and obstruction, serious crimes carrying years, if not decades, of potential prison time. If evidence proved that doctors or family members falsified records, the scandal would escalate from a celebrity controversy into a federal conspiracy case. Medical professionals could lose their licenses, hospital boards might face collapse, and family representatives could face criminal liability. Even the Harris dynasty, for all its fame and fortune, risked exposure to a reality TV-worthy implosion that no script could properly capture. Financial investigations compounded the tension. Authorities reportedly scrutinized suspicious financial activity tied to insurance claims, hush money, and other potential payouts. If the surgery had indeed been staged to generate sympathy while unlocking massive sums of money, the implications were catastrophic. Coupled with King's already precarious public image, viral rants, fights, and reckless antics, this created the perfect storm for a highly public disaster. T.I., caught between defending his son publicly and managing a legal crisis privately, had no easy path forward. Tiny, enduring the emotional toll in real time, was seen pleading for privacy outside the hospital that no longer existed. At the end of the day, one question dominates every conversation. Was this truly a medical emergency gone wrong, or the boldest, most careless cover-up in celebrity history? Did King Harris fake brain surgery to dodge the law? Or is he the victim of a government vendetta aimed at dismantling a hip-hop empire? The truth remains elusive. What is undeniable, however, is that this saga has blurred the lines between drama and reality in a way few stories ever have. King Harris isn't just making headlines, he's rewriting the rules for what counts as headline making in modern celebrity culture. As the public debate rages on, social media continues to document every twist. Memes, conspiracy theories, and viral commentary flood feeds, creating a digital frenzy where fact and fiction blur. Influencers dissect every post, every hospital photo, every timeline discrepancy. Fans argue over every detail, some convinced that the government is targeting the family unfairly, others convinced of a calculated deception. Meanwhile, journalists scramble to verify leaks, insiders, and alleged documents, and the world watches, captivated, as this unprecedented saga unfolds. T.I.'s reaction has also been widely discussed. Observers claim he confronted agents demanding clarification, protection for his son, and assurance that medical care would not be compromised. Whether he was aware of the alleged misconduct beforehand remains unknown, but his presence added a layer of emotional intensity to an already tense scenario. Fans were left questioning the dynamics of parental protection, legal accountability, and the blurred line between private family matters and public scrutiny. The fallout from this ICU arrest is far from over. Federal subpoenas have reportedly been issued to hospital staff, medical professionals, and potentially other family members. The investigation may expand beyond the immediate circumstances, probing financial records, insurance claims, and other elements that could reveal a larger pattern of misconduct. For observers, the story serves as a cautionary tale about the intersection of fame, privilege, and legal responsibility. It also underscores how public perception can be manipulated, intentionally or unintentionally, by those involved. As the story continues to unfold, questions remain. Was the brain surgery real, exaggerated, or entirely staged? Were family members or hospital staff complicit in manipulating the narrative? And perhaps most importantly, how will the legal system reconcile medical ethics, celebrity influence, and federal authority in such a high-profile case? While answers are scarce, the events surrounding King Harris's ICU arrest provide a rare glimpse into a world where celebrity, crime, and medical drama collide in ways that are both shocking and thought-provoking.